Welcome to the introductory lesson on finding array minimums using Java. We will begin by creating a new project in Eclipse. We'll call our project FindMin, and be sure to check the Use Default JRE selection and then click the Finish button. We'll open our minimum FindMin project, select the SRC folder, go to the File menu, choose New, Class, and also name our class FindMin. Be sure to check the public static void main checkbox before clicking the Finish button. Now that our project is open, we can minimize the Package Explorer, and we can delete the comments that are outside the main method. Next, we'll add our name to the remaining comment line. Now we're going to begin by creating an array that we can fill with values. It's going to be an array of ints, and we'll call our array ARR. Because it's a new array, we'll use the equals to assign it a set of values, and we'll use the keyword new to indicate that it's a brand new array with no initial values. Next, we repeat that it's an int array and specify how many elements we want in the array. We'll start with 5 elements. Next, we need to create some method of filling our array with values. We'll use a for loop and create a variable to iterate over the array. We'll start with the first value in the array, which is 0, and then continue to iterate as long as I is less than the length of this array. Of course, the last thing we need to do is increment I. Next, we want to assign an element of our array a value. So we use our array name followed by the variable I and indicate which value we want to assign to it. We'll go with I plus 1. We're creating an array with values in it, and we want a minimum value somewhere in the array. So we're going to pick a position, the fourth element in the array, and assign it the value 0. Next, it would be helpful to be able to see what our array is currently holding for values. So we'll create a for loop to iterate across the entire array set of values. And then we're going to output to the console using system.out.println. We want to create a pleasing output, so inside our quotes we're going to use a square bracket. Then we're going to add the value of I, followed by another square bracket and an equal sign. And then next we want to print the actual value of the array, so that's R of I. We're now ready to test our program and see if the output is what we expected. So I'm going to run FindMin. And as we can see, the first element in the array has the value 1, the second has the value 2, then 3, but our third element has the value 0, which is of course the minimum value in this array. Now what we want to do is write an algorithm so that the computer can find that value for us wherever it is. So the first thing that we need to do is create a variable that's going to be an int, which is going to point to the index of that minimum value. So we'll call it min_index. And we start by assuming that the first element in the array is, in fact, the smallest value in the array. Next, we're going to create a loop to iterate over the remaining values in the array. Normally, we start with 0, But in this case, we've decided that 0 is currently the minimum, so we can skip that value, so I will be equal to 1, but continue to iterate over the remaining values. Now we need to construct a conditional statement that will test if the current value pointed to by I is less than the current value pointed to by min index. So we write if r of I is less than r of min index, then we're going to want to do something. Well, if r of I is less than r of min index, then the value at r of I is the new minimum, and we want to record that position in the array in min index. Now that we're done, our loop will continue through all the values, storing whatever value has the lowest stored value in min index, and when we're done, we want to output the results to the console. So we'll do another system.out.println, tell the user what we've done, and just like before, we'll use the same format for outputting the value. So we start with a square bracket, only in this case we're printing min index, and then next we'll print the value of the array at min index. When we run our program, we'll now see that the algorithm has found that the lowest value is 0, and that value is stored at position 3 in the array. We can test our algorithm to verify that it works by changing where that value is stored. Let's move it to position 1 and run the program again. And the algorithm correctly returns that now the value 0 is at index value 1. We have just successfully written an algorithm capable of finding a minimum value in an array.